Last night, I made my server cry. Now, if you follow me, you know that usually I try to make the people in my life laugh. And last night, I made this server cry. There's a reason, and first, a little bit of a backstory. About a week ago, I was reading on Threads, somebody posted that they gave themselves a challenge at a restaurant, and that if a server ever fulfilled the challenge, that they would honor the server and recognize the challenge. And it took 7 years before the server actually served in the way that this person had set the challenge for themselves. And I thought to myself, hey, if a server does this for me, I'm gonna take up the same challenge and acknowledge it in the same way. Because I did a very similar thing when I go out to restaurants, and I can't remember, other than my own daughter who was a server for years, other than my own daughter, I can't remember another server actually getting it right the second, third, fourth time. And so here we are at a new restaurant that we'd never been to before with a server that has never helped us before. And usually I make a joke to let them know what it is that I'm asking for and how to get it right. And still, they get it wrong the second, third, fourth time. And last night I forgot to make the joke. And the second time the server comes out, she got it right. And I look at Sarah, my wife, and I say, babe, this is crazy. This was the challenge. And I feel like I've got to honor my word. I feel like we've got to do this thing. And she's like, no way, that seems a bit exorbitant. And I was like, I'm telling you, we got to do this. And she's like, well, let's just see what happens the rest of the meal. And so the rest of the meal, the server brought out my water in the specific way that I order it and anticipated that I would need it again. So I didn't have to ask for a refill. And she had the right number of lemons sitting on the glass so that I could squeeze it in. She was anticipating my needs and remembered exactly what it was that I asked for. Now, my wife became a believer. She goes, yeah, you're right. I can't remember the last time this has ever happened. And you're right, she wins the challenge, but you need to tell her that she won the challenge, right? And I was like, absolutely. We'll pull her aside and thank her and let her know that that was great service and great anticipation and just great recognition of customers' needs. And so we pulled her aside and we told her as we were filling out the check, and she just started to cry. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because I believe that there are signs in our life that we need to pay attention to. I can't remember the last time that this happened. All of a sudden, within days, it happened. And we pushed back a little bit on the sign, right? And then it happened again and again and again, to the point that we couldn't ignore the sign. And so we didn't ignore the sign. There are gonna be signs in your life that push you in a direction, and we can ignore the signs or we can honor and acknowledge the signs. And what we found out from the server last night was just before we acknowledged her great service, she had a table walk on her that didn't pay their bill. And her night was about to go south. It had started to turn into a bad night. And then we pulled her aside and thanked her and showed her our gratitude, and it changed her night. Perhaps that's all it changed, was just her night. And what I would love to see you do, what I know that I love to try to do, what I try to do with my kids, is pay attention to the little signs in our life that we can acknowledge, that we can slow down and take in, and just give extra gratitude for the little things.